Hello everyone, welcome to the Archipelago live stream. My name is Liam, I'm one of the developers here at Archipelago where we create Lightroom presets and creative profiles for photographers. And today I am very excited to introduce you to a brand new Archipelago preset collection, which is called Amara. Let's get the volume down on that one. So Amara is a portrait-focused set. It really harnesses the full power of Adobe's AI functionality to edit your images, and it's going to take your portrait workflow to the next level by simplifying things into a simple one-click retouch on your portraiture. Very excited to show you how this works. So Amara is going to be released very soon. It's an Archipelago presets collection, so it'll be released via archipelagopresets.com. But I'll be showcasing the set today, walking you through the presets, talking about the tools that come with it, and how amazing the Adobe AI functionality is in this set, and how you can use this to really streamline your portrait workflow. So yes, we'll be kind of going through all that, answering any questions you have as we go through the stream as well, as usual. I can see we've got quite a few people on here already. Now, just a note before we dive in and start taking a look at the presets, we will be giving away some pre-release copies of these presets to some lucky people in the chat at the end of this stream. So if you are here and you tuned into the live stream, make sure you jump into the chat, say hello, keep interacting as we go through the stream. We'll be picking people to win some pre-release copies of this set at the end of the stream. So definitely stick around if you're here. If you're not a subscriber, you're going to need to subscribe to be able to get into the chat. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And then after about a minute, it's going to let you jump in and start to interact in the chat. So jump in, say hello, let me know where you're tuning in from. I can see we've got quite a few people on here already. Thank you so much for jumping in and saying hi. I'll go through the chat in just a moment. I've got some amazing images I'll be editing with today. So we've got 10 images here from a variety of different photographers, quite a few different sort of lighting scenarios, things like that. So just a good variety to see what the Amara preset collection can do. So I'll be going through editing all these images, showcasing the presets, and like I said, I'll answer any questions you have as we go through. So this set is coming soon. We'll be giving you the actual release date. Obviously when they come out, we're going to let you know. We never tell you in advance, so it's a little bit of a secret, but they are going to be released very soon. The best place to hear about anything that's coming out from us, promotions, all that kind of stuff, including new sets, is via our newsletter. So if you're not already subscribed to the newsletter, go ahead and do that so you don't miss out on when this preset collection launches. You can do that via archipelagopresets.com/newsletter-sign up. I'm sure the link will go in the chat in a moment. So go ahead and sign up to the newsletter so you can hear about when these presets are being released. And if you've not already subscribed to the newsletter before, if you go ahead and do that now, you'll actually get your hands on a different AI set. This is kind of like our Essentials AI that does things like editing the sky and the subject in your scene, backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. And that's a free preset collection to newsletter subscribers. So if you go ahead and subscribe, you'll be able to download the AI toolset for free as part of your subscription to the newsletter. And then of course you'll hear about any promotions and the release date for things like Amara. So Amara's coming soon. Like I said, it's an Archipelago presets collection and it has got a whole load of goodness in that set. I'm going to show you in a moment just what's included in it, but there's a lot to love about it. Now we've thrown some sneak peeks in the Facebook group and I know a lot of people have been loving those. We've had our early testers come back with incredible feedback about this set as well. And people are just raving about the fact that they can really streamline their portrait workflow and do things like retouching, which in the past really we had to use Photoshop. So, do edits in Lightroom, move over to Photoshop and do retouching. A lot of the early testers are saying they're finding that 95% or more of their work can be done now directly in Lightroom. So you'll see how that's going to work as we dive into the edits, but I'm very excited to showcase this set to you. So yeah, just as a reminder, I'll be giving away some pre-release copies, so jump in the chat, keep interacting as we go through, stick around to the end, and we'll announce some winners to get their hands on the set before everyone else. But yeah, I can see there's loads of people in the chat here. It's been popping off. If I miss anything in the chat, I know Chris is on, Lauren's on as well, so they'll try and pick anything up that I might miss, but I'll keep an eye on the chat as we go through. So do keep chiming away. Right. Okay. So let's jump into the actual Lightroom here. We'll take a look at some of these images. So the way that this is going to flow, if you've been to a live stream before, it's the same sort of format. But if you're new around here, essentially, I'm going to jump into the first image that we have here, and I'll showcase the set. I'll kind of walk through the presets that are included, talk about the AI functionality, the tools, the creative profiles, all that kind of good stuff. And then from there on out, I'd like you to decide which images you want to see edited next. So you'll see the number in the top left of the thumbnail. You can just throw that in the chat and let me know which one you want to see edited next, and I'll kind of go through them in that order. We'll do all 10. I'll kind of rattle through all 10 during this stream, just so you can see the variety of different presets on different images and different camera formats, all that kind of stuff. But if I dive into image number 1, first of all, this one here is by Jocelyn Fletcher. You can see the photographer's name in the top left as we go through these edits, along with the EXIF data. And for most of them, you'll also see an Instagram handle. So if you want to follow them, you can go ahead and grab their Instagram handle from there as well. All right, so let's walk through the set. So Archipelago Amara. So like I said, it's a portrait focused set, but that doesn't mean it's exclusively going to be used for portraiture. You can use this on any type of subject matter. The actual core presets, as you can see here, Amara 1 through 8, you've got 6 color presets and 2 black and white. And these are going to work on absolutely everything. There's a lot of diversity in the tonalities that are offered here. You'll kind of see as we go through and edit. There's a lot of diversity, and these work on any type of subject matter. So if it's a still life or a landscape or, whatever it is, these presets will still work on that. But this is really a portrait focused set in so much that it actually uses Adobe's AI, artificial intelligence, to see the subject in your shot and pick out certain elements of that subject. So things like skin, their eyes, their lips, their hair, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to allow a one-click solution for retouching your image, which you can then go in and dial further if you want with the sliders and the various mask layers and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, it'll work with everything, but really it's geared up for portrait photographers. So if you're shooting any type of subject matter where you have people in the scene, this is going to be an amazing, amazing set for you. And I know some of our early testers have done it, sort of studio work, boudoir stuff, all sorts of different types of portraiture, and have absolutely loved what this set offers. So we've got Amara 1 through 6. That's the color presets. I'll kind of show those to you in just a moment. And then we have Amara 7 and 8 as the black and white presets. So let's just go ahead and get the exposure looking good on this image by Jocelyn. I think the white balance is already pretty much bang on, so I wouldn't change that. I think just a little bit of an increase in the exposure and we'll be good to go. So let's take a look at the actual presets first of all. Amara 1 with a one click. Absolutely gorgeous transformation. You can see one of the things you'll notice actually as we go through, this is a good image to showcase as we go through these presets, is the green tones in this set are really, really nice. I know that's one of the areas that a lot of photographers tend to struggle with, is getting those greens to look quite nice. And I think with this set, it hits the nail on the head. There's a lot of variety and the greens are really, really pleasing. So this is Amara 1 with one click. Super, super nice. Amara 2. That's looking gorgeous on this. I love those green tones in the background, again, before and after. Different kind of approach. You can see this is 1 with a bit of a warmer tonality in the skin and the greens. This is 2 with a little bit of a punchier level of contrast, more neutral skin tones and cooler greens. Amara 3. This is a little bit more green toning throughout in the shadows, a little bit softer looking as well. Wow, what a difference I can see in the chat. The greens, heart eyes I can see in there as well. Love this too, looks a bit more vintage, says Aubrey. Oh my, this is going to be hard to choose. Yeah. All right, Amara 4. Love that. There's a little bit more magenta running through the shadows there. Still those really nice green tones. Skin tones look very nice and natural. Again, before and after with Amara 4. Amara 5, definitely much more sort of vintage looking, a little bit lower contrast level, a little bit more filmic, nice earthy tonality, I would describe it. And then Amara 6, which is one of my favorites in the set. The greens on this are absolutely gorgeous. It really leans into that kind of green tonality. So this is a good one if you've got a lot of foliage in your shot, that kind of thing. But I think it's beautiful. I love the toning in the skin, and I love the overall sort of bias towards the green side. And then we have 2 black and whites, and these are absolutely amazing black and whites as well. Again, wildly different from each other. So you've got so much variety in this set. So you have Amara 7, which is sort of a very crisp, modern looking, very neutral tonality, kind of high contrast level and a medium amount of grain. And then we have Amara 8, which is that much more vintage looking, kind of softer, more diffusion in the highlights, crushed shadows, and a little bit more grain there as well. So loads and loads of variety. That's 7 and that's 8. So again, as we move through these, you can see you've got so much variety, and that's the core presets here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose one of these. I think I might go for 4, Amara 4. So that's one click with Amara 4, before and after. Again, look at those green tones. Love the greens in this particular preset. Super nice. And there's your skin tones and the colors in the subject. Again, we've got a little bit more magenta running through the shadows, which is really complementary to this subject here. All right, so then we've got the Amara profile. So that's set to 100 as default, and this is going to allow you to adjust the overall tonality of the image. So if I drag it to the left, you're going to see it's going to lighten the image, it's going to lift up the shadows a little bit, and just kind of give a little bit of a lighter, softer look. And if we drag it to the right, you're going to see that it's going to mute down those highlights and give us a little bit of a softer look. So again, total control there. You can dial this in however you like. I'm going to leave it set to 100 as the default. Now I've actually got a couple of extra profiles as well. So the black and whites, if I was to go ahead and apply Amara 7, you're going to see the Amara black and white profile. Similar type of effect as to what the color profile does, but with a little bit more, it's a little bit broader. So I'd say it's much heavier on both sides. So again, lots and lots of control on each of the black and whites. And then you also have an additional profile in the set as well, and that's called Sol. You'll see that down here. So the Sol profile has a really heavy push in warmth. So if you like that really warm tonality, you can apply any of these presets and then jump into the preset that is the profile for Sol and just apply that. And then that's going to give you the profile at the top here, and you can decide exactly how much of that warm tonality you want to push into the image. So it's super nice. Again, that works with any of the color presets that are in this set. So you've got 3 profiles and then 8 presets, 6 color and 2 black and white. So I'm going to go back to Amara 4 with the default profile for this. And then that brings me on to really the magic of this set and why it's really geared up towards portrait photographers. And that's the AI functionality that's included. Now, a lot of our presets recently have been using Adobe's newer AI functionality. So AI stands for artificial intelligence. We've got a couple of videos on our channel that kind of go into what that is and how it works and some of those more recent updates to Adobe, what they offer, all that kind of stuff. But AI is absolutely amazing to help speed up the workflow for us. It doesn't take away our creative control. It actually gives us more control, but it makes things much, much faster, much more streamlined, improve that workflow and give us more time to kind of focus on the creativity of our editing, which is what we absolutely love as developers here, is getting the tools to do a lot of the work for us so we can focus on the creative side of it and how we want to edit our images. And with this set, it really goes to the nth degree with that. So Adobe made some updates to the AI functionality so that it now not only picks out things like your subject and background and sky, but it will also pick out the features of your subject. So it can pick out the skin on their face, it can pick out their hair, their eyebrows, their eyes, their lips, all of that stuff. And we can basically use that to create presets. Now, what Chris has done, which is that Chris, who's in the chat here, has developed this set. He's one of our developers. So Chris created this set, and what he actually did was went through and created 4 look presets. So these looks allow you to basically retouch your image in one click. And then if you want to go further, you can either dial the overall look of that particular retouch in, or you can go into the individual layers and dial it even further. So you'll see here, we've got these presets that are called look, and we have 4 of them. There's minimal, natural, vibrant, and muted. So these actually apply a whole bunch of masks with one click that affect all those different elements of your subject, their eyes, their lips, their hair, their eyebrows, all that kind of stuff, but with one click. So you can get a really, really nice, pleasing result with these 4 different looks, and then you can dial it in from there. So if I go ahead and zoom in on the subject here so we can see a little bit more of the detail of the face, I'm going to hover over the first look, which is called minimal. So this is look minimal. Takes a second for it to render. It's going to figure out where the subject is. So this is without, and this is with. And as you can see, it is exactly that. It's minimal. It applies a subtle amount of retouching to the image, and essentially that's it. So just a little bit of retouching to the image. Very, very minimal look. Very, very kind of subtle. But you can see that that's affecting all of the different features of the subject with that one click. So if I give that a click, we've then got the amount slider at the top left. And that's of course set to 100 as default. And then from there, we can either decrease that for a more subtle effect or increase it for a more pronounced effect. So again, that level of control, that granularity that you want, but it's as simple as one click, and then just dial a preset if you want to. So I'm going to take that back to 100. And before I show you the other looks, if I jump into the mask panel here, you can see that all of these masks have been applied in that one click. So we have masks that affect the lips, the skin, the hair, the teeth, if they're visible, not in this shot, but if they are, affects the teeth, the brows, different elements within the eyes, the actual skin, and does all of that with one single click. They're all dialed in to be really nicely balanced with each other. And then when you adjust the amount slider, it's going to adjust all of those in relation to each other. You can, of course, then go into the mask panel, go to each individual one and dial the amount on each individual mask. But the idea is that you get as close as you can with minimal clicks. And then if you want to go further and do those granular changes, you can do that in the mask panel there. All right, so let me show you the other look. So again, this is the minimal look. We've got natural. So natural, you can see this is minimal and this is natural. Subtly different. So natural is going to give, again, a mild amount of airbrushing, but it's also going to give detailed eyes and natural lip coloring as well. So I'll give that one click. Then we have some of the more pronounced looks. So that's vibrant and muted. So vibrant, if I hover over that, you can see there's much more of a change on the subject. So you can see the eyebrows darken down, the actual eyes illuminate a little bit more, there's more detail there, and the color of the lips is much more pronounced. So this is vibrant, again with one click. So from there, I can dial it back, I can increase it for a more pronounced look. So you got that total control with the amount slider, but you're getting a huge effect on the image with one single click. So this is before, and this is after with vibrant and the Amara 4 preset. And then the last one is muted. So this one has, again, a moderate amount of airbrushing, still lifts up the eyes and gives more detail in the eyes, but you'll notice the lip color is more muted and the brows are still darkened. So a more muted look, darker lips, a little bit heavier on the airbrushing in the skin, but we get that nice detail in the eyes. If I go ahead and show you before and after, I mean, you can see obviously bit more pronounced that I've increased it, but if I set that back to 100, this is the edited image with muted, and this is the unedited image. So I think for this, I would probably be tempted to go for vibrant because I like the color in the lip, and this is just pushing that a little bit further. I'm going to leave the amount to 100, but I'm going to go into the mask panel and let's have a look. The eyes, eye brighten. I'm going to increase that a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. And then eyes define, let's just increase that a little bit as well. Boom, there we go, done. So this is before, and this is after. We've got extra detail there in the eyes. We're pumping a bit more color into the lips. The skin's getting that nice amount of retouching. You can see here just a few sort of blemishes and the natural sort of texture in the skin is just softened up a little bit, blended together, much more natural looking, but not over the top. You've not had to go through and just remove all those blemishes manually or throw the image into Lightroom and do skin separation, all that kind of stuff, the frequency separation that you usually have to do to get this type of look. All of this is happening right here in Lightroom, which is absolutely incredible. It's amazing. It's amazing what it can do. And Chris has done an incredible job pulling these different looks together. So again, we've got minimal, natural, vibrant, and muted. So it will suit lots and lots of different type of images, and you can dial it with the amount slider to set the amount that you want to see. So I'm going to go ahead and use vibrant. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit, so it's a bit more subtle. Again, this is before and after. And then that's not all. We've got a few more tools in this set as well. Before I dive into those tools, I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat, see if I can catch up. I love the muted too. I can't decide which I like better, says Diona. It's crazy how many different looks you get with these subtle changes in preset. Absolutely. Love how it keeps it natural. Yes, definitely. Laura says, can we get it today? Potentially. You're in the chat, so you're in with a chance of getting it today. We'll be giving away a few copies of this to some lucky people in the chat. So if you are just tuning in, Make sure to subscribe to the channel, jump in the chat, and let us know what you think to the edits as we go through, and ask any questions you might have as we go through the edits as well. We'll be choosing someone in the chat to win some pre-release copies of this preset at the end of the stream. What, there's more, says Lara. Yes, there is more. So the extra tools that we have in this set, so we've got, you'll see down here we have, under look, it says face only. It's a nice simple one. If I come down here to the chest of this subject here, if you can see, if I hover over this, it's going to remove that effect that we've applied with the look from the rest of the body and just apply it to the face. So that's a really nice one. If you don't want it to look too artificial, you just apply that. It removes it from the rest of the subject and leaves the effect just on the face. And then we have look reset, which is just a nice quick way of going back to the original image without any of that retouching. So this is the unretouched image just with the preset, and this is with look vibrant, just dial back a little bit so you can see just how big of a difference that makes to the image. Really, really flattering results, but very, very natural. So nice, quick, easy way to remove those changes. And then we have some tools. So we've got subject. There's two different subjects you can see here. So the one with the white border and the black square, what this essentially does is it lightens the background of the image, and that makes your subject stand out against the lighter background. So again, this is before and this is after. And then the one below that with the black border and the white square does the opposite. That darkens the background of your image so that your subject pops against a darker background. And again, you've got the amount slider, so you can increase or decrease that to your heart's desire. So I'm going to set this one, which darkens the background. I'll increase the amount a little bit there as well. Like I said before, we have the profile sol, so you can just click on that there and then dial the amount in the basic panel, but I like the default Amara creative profile on this particular image. We then have depth of field, and this is amazing. So basically this one simulates a very shallow depth of field. So if I go ahead and zoom back in here, you can see we've got these leaves here and then the subject, so their hat, and then their features down here. If I do one click of depth of field, it's going to soften up the background whilst leaving the subject unaffected. You see they're nice and sharp, and we've got a nice softening in the background. So this is before and this is after. And again, we've got the amount slider. I can increase that all the way to 200 or decrease it for a more subtle effect. So let's crank that up to 200, zoom back out. You can see you've got that really blurred background. Again, this is unedited and this is edited. I'm going to leave it at the default amount of 100. So it's just a nice bit of softening. Gives us that extra separation. The subject is really the draw of the image. They look more detailed, they pop from the background, and then we've kind of got that nice softening there as well. Super, super cool. Obviously, all of this is using Adobe's AI. Dependent on the subject, you might find that some of the tools, such as depth of field, might not look as natural. So if you've got a really kind of complex scene where the subject's not really easily defined, or there's a lot of things sort of covering the subject, then you're going to find it's not going to do a super good job. But I find that the Adobe AI is very, very good. Like even in quite challenging scenes, it does an amazing job of picking out the various different elements. But yeah, so you'll find that any image where it's got a clearly defined subject and a good amount of separation, this is going to do a wonderful job of just kind of picking out the subject and only blurring the background. So that's the depth of field tool that's included as well. And then we've got some simple grain tools. So grain minus will turn the grain off. So if you like a sort of more clean look with each of the presets, apply the preset, go into there, choose the grain minus, and that's going to turn the grain off. And then we have grain plus, which is the default amount of grain for all of the color presets and Amara 7 black and white preset. And then we have a heavier grain, which is grain plus plus, and that just gives a bit more of a push in the grain, a little bit more texture, and that's the one that's used as default on Amara 8, which is a little bit more of a gritty look. So again, nice easy control for the grain with those little presets there, but the subject pop tools are amazing, the depth of field is amazing, and of course the star of the show, those looks are absolutely incredible. So let me show you the side-by-side comparison. Again, this is Amara 4. I've left the profile at the default amount of 100. I have used Look Vibrant to give us that nice amount of retouching on the subject. Just dialed that back a tiny little bit. I've removed that from the rest of the subject's body. I've used the subject pop tool to darken the background, and then a little bit of depth of field. So there's your side-by-side. If I go ahead and zoom in so you can see that side-by-side comparison of the features there. Absolutely stunning. Again, you can see The texture on the left here, it's just smoothed out a nice amount here without looking unnatural. The blemishes, we've not needed to remove them. It's just made them a little bit more subtle, so we can kind of leave all that there, but get that really nice airbrushed look to the image right here in Lightroom, which is amazing. I see loads of people jump in the chat. When will I be able to buy? Says Regnar. At some point soon. We don't tell secrets like that. But yeah, if you subscribe to the newsletter, we'll let you know via the newsletter when these are released, but they are coming soon, very, very soon. So good, says Britta. Such a difference, says Kelly. That side-by-side stunning, says Diana. Thank you very much. Literally amazing, says China. Thank you very much. All the love, all the love. All right, so that's enough of the chit chat. Let's go ahead and really show what these presets can do. I'm going to go back to the grid here. Let me know what image you want to see edited next with the Amara presets, and let's really show what these can do. Tell if it will be February or December. Nope, I can't tell you. It might not even be this year. No, I'm joking. It is going to be very soon. All right, way too many numbers being thrown at me. 10 was the first one I saw, and then 6. So 10, 6, and I think 9. So let's do that order, 10, 6, 9. All right, so image number 10. So we've got a bit of a studio setup here. Looks like natural light. I'm not 100% certain, but it looks like it's just window light to the left of the subject here. This one's by Ryan Smith. Gorgeous photo. I love these types of pulled back portrait images in the studio where you have the backdrop sort of included in the shot. So let's go ahead and increase the exposure. I'm going to go into the lens correction and turn on that because it's got a little bit of vignette there. So I think maybe somewhere right about there. White balance is looking good. It's slightly warm, but I quite like that. So I'm going to leave it as it is for now, and then we'll see what the presets look like. So Amara 1. Love that. Look at that shift in skin tones. Super nice. Let me zoom in. Amara 1, and that's unedited. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that. So Amara 1, Amara 2, a little bit more sort of peach tone in the background. Very, very nice. Amara 3, slightly richer looking, a little bit more contrast. Again, 1, 2, 3. Amara 4, very, very nice. That's got, again, got that magenta running in the shadows there. Amara 5, that's looking lovely. Very monochromatic image, this one. You know, there's only the sort of those browns of the floor and the background, and then the skin tones of the subject, but still a nice amount of variety that we've got here. Black and white. Amara 7, that nice sort of high contrast look, very clean, very crisp and modern. And then Amara 8 for that more soft, almost vintage look, much more nostalgic. So color, I would be tempted to go for maybe Amara 1, I think, for this. What we're saying, let me have a look. 1 and 3, 3, 4. I love Amara 2. 3 looks great. Yeah, I'm going to go for 1, I think. I was also drawn to 3 as well, but I think I'm going to go 1 on this. So Amara profile set to 100. Let's have a look. Increase or decrease. I think a little bit of an increase, maybe about there, 147. So obviously this is a little bit of a, more distanced portrait. So I wanted to include some images like this that are not necessarily super close-up portraits, just to show that you can still use the looks on those. So again, if we go look minimal, you can see that's without and that's with. Look natural, look vibrant, and look muted. And I don't know what I would go for on this. I'm drawn to natural. I also like vibrant, and I also like muted. I think I would pick vibrant probably again on this just because I like the lip color. But what do you think? Natural, says Naomi. Sarah said, I used to think I'd found 1 or 2 sets that I loved and that the creators couldn't top. I know so much better now. They're always coming out with something new and amazing. Yeah, we don't settle. We don't settle. Natural, vibrant, natural. All right, I think natural is probably the winner. So let's go ahead and apply natural. Again, we can increase or decrease that. I'm not going to go too high. In actual fact, I would say when you have a portrait that's further away from the camera, dialing a look back like this definitely looks a lot more natural. So I'm going to bring that down to about 64, looks good to me. So again, this is before and after. Obviously a little bit of an increase in the exposure as well. But that's just softening up the tonality in a really nice and natural way, just giving us a little bit of that softness to the skin while still giving us those the amount of detail that we want in the eyes, which is where we want to be drawn for our portrait subjects. So that's looking stunning. Let's take a look. Should we see if we want to do face only? Yeah, maybe. No, I'll leave it. I like the softness that it's applying to the rest of the body as well. All right, so maybe use some of the subject pop tools. So this is the subject pop lightens the background, and this is the one that darkens the background. Ooh, I would be tempted to go for that lighter look, a little bit of an area look. So I'm not going to increase it too much. I'm going to leave it about 70, so slight increase in the luminance of the background just to make the subject pop. And then let's have a look. I don't think I'd use Sol on this. Ooh, I don't know, actually. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will. So Sol is going to give us that nice rich warmth. So I'm going to go for that about 135 actually. And that's just going to give us a little bit of warmth in some of the neutral tones here as well, and just give us that really kind of consistent monochromatic look. So again, this is before and after. And then we could go ahead and do a depth of field. No, I'm going to leave it. I like the, because obviously this is a bit of a wider shot. So it looks like it's shot on a 35mm lens. And it's shot at f2.2, but obviously you don't get a massive amount of depth of field. So this would be nice to use if you wanted to add that depth of field that you wouldn't get from something like a 35mm lens. But if I was going to do it, I'd go very subtle. I'd bring it back maybe to about there, so 44. So it's just starting to soften up the background a little bit more than you would naturally get with a 35mm lens, even at f2.2. And that's just going to draw your eye to the subject a bit more. But I wouldn't go, up to 200 or anything like that. It's going to start to look really fake. So I'm going to go 44. There we go. This is before and after. Let me show you the side by side. Love that light airy look with this. Got obviously the Sol profile, which is adding that extra injection of warmth. We get that really nice honey sort of color toning throughout the highlights as well. And we've got the natural look, which is just softening up some of the details in the skin of the subject, bringing a bit more detail to the eyes, keeping a natural lip color, and again, just giving us that lovely soft look to the image. What we're saying? What a transformation, says Sarah. Wow, says Diona. That before and after love, says Angelique. Thank you so much. Gorgeous, love it, says Elizabeth. Such a lovely change, so pretty. All of the positive feedback. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, so again, let's zoom in. Here's before and here's after. Gorgeous, gorgeous photo by Ryan. Thank you so much, Ryan, for letting us use your image at Ryan Chard Smith Photo on Instagram. And again, that was with Amara 1. We've used the Sol profile and increased that a little bit there. We've used the natural look, subject pop that lightens the background, and a little smidge of depth of field. I'm going to leave the grain as the default amount. I think that's a good amount that we see there. I would also, for this image, be tempted to do a black and white edit, because I think this is a gorgeous photo for a black and white. So if I was going to do black and white, I'd go for Amara 7, that nice sort of crisp modern look. I'm going to back the exposure off a little tiny bit, and I'm going to increase the profile so we get that kind of punchier look, really push that modern high contrast effect. Obviously it keeps all the other effects that we've added there, so we've still got the subject pop, we've still got the depth of field, but now we've got the black and white version. And again, here's your before, here's your after, and that's with the gorgeous Amara 7. And that also maintains that natural look that we had set before. Again, you can use all these looks with black and white presets as well. So you can see as I go through here, you can see the look change. And actually, I think for the black and white, I would maybe go for muted, which is going to darken the lips and also darken the eyebrows a little bit. And that's, again, going to help us with that sort of more high contrast look. So maybe just increase it a little tiny bit, 117. And now I've got a little bit more contrast there in the features with that gorgeous Amara 7 black and white with the profile increased. So again, let's zoom in. There's your before and there's after. Lovely, lovely. I thought I loved the color version, but I love this black and white. This is Catherine, thank you. Adore the black and white so much, says Taylor, thank you. So dang classy, that's a great way of describing it, Amanda, thank you. All right, so we said image 6 and then image 9. So let's do that one next. All right, so this one here from Isaac. Love this photo, really nice composition. I like how tight it is on the subjects here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the exposure up a little bit. Feels like we need to correct the white balance. I'm gonna add a little bit more warmth in the temperature. And I think maybe just back off the tint just a tiny little bit, maybe about there. All right, let's take a look. So Amara 1, ooh, love that. That's incredible. Unedited Amara 1. Amara 2, again, that's looking lovely. I love that extra bit of contrast that we're getting there. And that kind of a little bit more magenta in the lips and the outfit there as well. Amara 3, that's very, very nice. That might be the one. Amara 4, Amara 5, Amara 6, and then black and white Amara 7. And Amara 8. All right, so if I was going black and white, I would go Amara 8. I think that's looking really, really nice. I like the kind of softness that we're getting with that. It suits this kind of type of shot really, really well. But I think color, I would be tempted by Amara 3. What we're saying, I love 4, 1 and 3 so far for me. 3 is gorgeous. Love 7, all of them. 3, no, cool. Let's go 3. Amara 3. So again, Amara profile. This is the default Amara profile. I don't think I'll use Sol on this, but let's have a quick look. Looking good. It is nice if you want that nice, rich warmth, but I'm going to leave the default profile, but I'm going to have a little play around. Let's go for a tiny increase in that. So 120, so just a little bit of an increase of the creative profile. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the looks. So we've got look minimal, look natural, look vibrant, and look muted. I would definitely go for minimal, I think, on this one. And I'm going to dial it back just a smidge as well. So I'm going to set that to 65. So it's just a little bit of that look that we're getting. So you can see here, this is the edited image. This is the unedited image. And again, when we look at things like, you know, some of the blemishes on the subjects here, it just kind of smooths them out without removing them. So, you know, obviously we could go through with the spot removal tool and take all of those blemishes out. But how nice is it that we can get such a pleasing result without having to do that? And it looks very, very natural. It's just kind of blending those blemishes a little bit more, just kind of smoothing out some of the, you know, wrinkles and some of the kind of lines in the skin without looking unnatural, without looking fake. So again, this is before and this is after. That's with Amara 3, and the minimal look just pulled back to 65. Slight increase on the profile. Again, we could do face only if we needed, but there's only really the hands there, so I'm not too fussed about that. And this is without the look. So you can see if I zoom back into the subjects there, this is with the preset, but without the look. And this is with, so just a nice amount of softening there. Keeps the detail on the eyelashes. Obviously their eyes are closed, but keeps the detailing on the eyelashes. Very natural lip color there. Nothing changing too drastically in the lips. But just a very pleasing result in terms of the softening of the skin. Subject pop, again, we can either lighten the background or we can darken the background. I would be tempted to go for the darken on this one. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I'm not going to go too high, just a little bit, 64. And then we've already got a very shallow depth of field. This is, again, shot on a 35mm, wide open by the looks of it, f1.4. But because the subjects are so close to the camera and obviously the background's a bit further away, we're getting more depth of field than we had on the last shot. But we can push that further with the depth of field plus. And you can obviously increase or decrease that. I'm going to leave it relatively subtle again. It's about 70, just to soften the background up just a bit more than it was naturally. Look at that, super, super nice. I think it's really, really natural, both the preset and obviously the retouching with the natural look. But we're getting a really, really nice result there. This is the side by side. Such a sweet image. They seem so relaxed, says Yeva. Yes, I agree. Aubrey says it's my favorite ever set. Well, there we go. If we've got any type of review, that's the one. So natural, but so much better. Wow. The tones of these are amazing. Amanda says it gives me Twilight vibes. Nice. These tones are gorgeous. out of a movie. All the amazing feedback. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it. All right, so if anyone's joining late, welcome to the stream. My name's Liam. I'm one of the developers here at Archipelago. We are just showcasing the brand new Archipelago Amara preset collection, which is going to be launching very soon on archipelagopresets.com. I'm just showcasing the set, showing the amazing AI functionality that's built in that allows you to retouch your subjects directly in Lightroom with one single click, and then a few slide changes if you want to kind of dial it in a bit further. We'll be giving away some pre-release copies of these presets at the end of the stream. So if you are here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like as well while you're here, actually. That really helps to push the content out to more people. So give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and then jump in the chat. If you're brand new, it'll take a minute or so before you can actually jump into the chat. But jump in there, say hello, start commenting, and of course, let me know if you have any questions as well as we go through. All right, so gorgeous image by Isaac. Thank you so much, Isaac, for submitting that one. Let's move on to the next image. So what we got, image 10, image 9 was the next one, wasn't it? So image 9, this one by Brittany. Lovely, lovely photo. So we've got the subject sat out in a field here. It's looking pretty much bang on from the get-go. I don't think I need to do too much with this. I'm just going to bring the exposure up a tiny bit. I think white balance is good. So let's take a look. Amara 1, Amara 2, Amara 3, Amara 4, Amara 5, Amara 6, and then the black and whites, Amara 7 and Amara 8. All right, so this is going to be a tough one. I am drawn to 1 and 4 and 6. I think 6 is the one for me. So let's take a look at the profile. I'm going to bring it back a little bit, just to kind of give us a little bit of a softer look. It's going to lighten up those highlights. This is without and this is with. Again, very natural looking. Doesn't change too drastically. I love what it's done to the blues in the denim down here. Just pushed it across to being a little bit less saturated, a little bit more teal colored. And then we've got that nice warmth running through the actual image. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the subject. And let's take a look at these AI looks. So we've got minimal, natural, vibrant, and muted. And I would be definitely tempted to go for vibrant. I love what it's doing to the lip. I love what it's doing to the eyebrows. I love what it's doing to the eyes as well. This is without, and this is it all the way up to 200. Obviously 200 is gonna be a bit too drastic on this, but I think, let's have a little look. I think for a little bit more of like an editorial look, I'll probably leave it at the default amount of 100. So again, this is before and after. And if I go to the look reset, that's going to show you without the look applied and with. So again, if you look at the eyes, I love what it's doing to the eyes, just lifting up that natural eye color, giving us a little bit more definition, a little bit more detail to the actual eyelashes as well. Adding that extra injection of color to the lips, still very natural, but just a little bit more saturated, a little bit darker, and then the slightly darker eyebrows, and of course, more moderate retouching of the skin there as well. Now for this, because I've gone for something a little bit slightly heavier with the vibrant look, I'm going to do the face only option, which is only going to apply that to the face, keep the rest of the body looking very natural. All right, let's zoom back out. So a subject part, we could use that on this. So we've got the lighten and the darken, and I would go lighten on this. It's a kind of a light and airy feeling image anyway. So I'm just going to go not too high, maybe about there, 75. Just lift it up a little bit. And again, draw your eye to the subject there. And then we've got depth of field, which I think would work really nice on this actually. You know, there's a good amount of depth of field anyway, but if we just apply that, it's going to just separate that subject just a little bit more. And I would go maybe a little bit higher as well, about 150. And that's just going to give us that nice amount of softness in the background, but keep all of the detail there on the subject. And I would be tempted to go for a little bit more grain just because I like the look of grain. And especially when you've got a lot of softness and depth of field, it just adds that texture back in. So this is with grain plus plus. Again, this is before. This is after. I'll show you that side by side. And I'll just switch the grain back to the default amount, which is grain plus, just so you can see the texture of the skin. In fact, if I turn the grain off entirely, look, you can see before and after. But I think with a good amount of grain, I would be tempted to go for grain plus personally. There's the zoomed out version. And that's with Amara. Which one did I use? 3, I think. Oh no, it's 6, wasn't it? Amara 6. So Amara 6, I've backed the profile off. I've used the vibrant look to add a little bit of retouching to the subject's face. I've turned face only on, which means it's not affecting the rest of the subject. And then we've used the subject pop lighten background, and we've used the depth of field and added a little bit more grain. Super nice results. Yes, I'm loving this, says Britta. Sigrid says, Sai takes out wallet. Yeah, get the wallet ready. You're going to want this. Just to note as well, it's a really important thing to point out. Obviously, the presets that you're seeing here, Amara presets, are absolutely stunning. You're going to love them. But it's really important to point out as well, you can use any other Archipelago preset and still use the looks that are in this set. So if you've got an edit and you're absolutely adoring, Xfilm or Nomad or something like that on your edit, but you want to have this one-click solution for retouching, you can still use the looks from this set with any other Archipelago preset collection. So if you're attracted to the looks alone, it's worth getting the set. If you're attracted to the presets, it's worth getting the set. If you like the whole package, I mean, there's a lot to love about this. Then yeah, keep your eyes peeled. We'll be releasing this very soon. Like I said, the newsletter is where we'll shout about it as soon as they are available, and they'll be going to archipelagopresets.com. All right, so let's start rattling through these images because I'm just conscious of time. So let's just jump in and do, let's see, what do you want to see next? I don't think we'll have time to do all these images. So let's do another 3 images. So which one do you want to see next? 5, 8, 4, done. Done and dusted, 5, 8, 4. Thank you so much for your selections. Image number 5, let's do that one next. All right, so this one here by Peyton. This is a gorgeous photo. Again, I love the composition. I love the sort of intimate connection between the 2 subjects here. I'm gonna bring the exposure up. Now, obviously I would kind of crop out this person in the background if it was my image, but just for the sake of time, I'm gonna leave that as it is. But I think the white balance is looking good. Brought the exposure up. I think we're good to go. So Amara 1, again, gorgeous transformation. Amara 2, very, very nice, a little bit punchier looking. Amara 3, nice and rich, nice warm toning. Amara 4, Amara 5, Amara 6, and then black and white Amara 7, and Amara 8. I am tempted by, I like 5 on this. I think that nice rich warmth, judging by the landscape where the subjects are, I think that's going to suit this image really well. I'm just going to play around with the white balance. Just going to back off the temperature a tiny little bit. And then let's see. I don't think I'll use Sol because we've got quite a warm look already, but I'm going to play around with Amara. Yeah, I'm going to bring that up a little bit and then bring the exposure up to compensate. All right, so let's zoom in on the subjects here. Again, we've not got, a super kind of front-on image where you want to do a lot of retouching, but let's take a look at something like minimal or natural. I would say natural looks good to me on this. This is vibrant and this is muted. Yeah, I'm going to go natural. I'm going to dial it right back just for a little bit of a subtle look. So I'm going to set it to 38. This is before, this is after. And this is if I reset the retouching. So again, quite subtle, but really that's what you want. You want it to look very, very natural. And how amazing is it that, I can click one preset and I can set the amount for that. And that's going to dial all of those individual masks in relation to each other and give us that incredible result with one simple click. So let's zoom back out. Got the subject pop with the lighten background and darken background, and I would be tempted to go darken again on this one. That gives us a little bit more dramatic kind of sky look, and then I can bring the overall exposure up a little bit more. Let's go about there. Depth of field will be good on this one as well. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go about 87. So just a little bit of depth of field there just to soften up some of that foliage and landscape in the background, just to draw your eye to the subjects. Again, let's zoom in. Here's before and here's after. Let me show you that as a side-by-side. Obviously a bit of an increase in the exposure. We used Amara 5 for this one. Increased the profile. We used the natural look dialed back to be very, very subtle. And then we've used the subject pop darken background and a little bit of depth of field. Super nice. So there's before and there's after. Gorgeous image by Peyton. Thank you so much for submitting that one, Peyton. Yeva says, I want her gorgeous hair. I don't think that's available as part of the preset collection, but we can see what we can do. The image is already dreamy. Then you add Amara and it's perfection. Thank you so much. That before and after is stunning. I'm obsessed with all the tones. They're all so damn good, says Rue. Thank you very much. My gosh, the hair. Lots of love for the hair. I'm jealous I don't have any hair. We'll not talk about that though. Right, so what were the next images that were picked? I can't remember the numbers. Where are we? 4, 5, 8 and 4. That was it. So let's do 8 next. This one here. This is a great photo. This one by Sherry. I love this. Nice textures in the background. Love the colors. Again, the kind of composition and where the subject's positioned in frame. The pose as well. It's lovely. Really, really nice photo, Sherry. Thank you so much. All right, so I don't think I need to do anything at all to this. The exposure looks good. The white balance looks bang on. So let's take a look at these presets. Amara 1. Absolutely gorgeous. A little bit more kind of orangey kind of toning. Amara 2, that's definitely a nice one to maintain the original toning where we've got those nice purples and magentas in the background. Amara 3, Amara 4, Amara 5, Amara 6, and then black and white Amara 7, and Amara 8. Oof, that's really nice. I'm going to go for Amara 4, I think. Let's go ahead and, yeah, I'm going to increase the profile and bring the exposure up just a tiny little bit. And then let's go ahead and zoom in on, I'll show you both subjects, but I'll zoom in on this subject first. So we definitely don't need a lot happening with this image. You know, it looks like we've got makeup applied and things already, so we don't need to do a lot of retouching. But let's take a look at the different looks. So minimal, natural, vibrant, and muted. Now I would be tempted by muted. So I'm going to go ahead and set this. I like how it's darkening the eyebrows, darkening the lip a little bit. And then the only thing that I might want to do with this, so let's see, I think maybe around about there. I'm going to go in to, let's have a look, brush face. I'm just going to bring that back a little bit. So I'm going to leave everything else as it is, but I'm just going to bring the brush face back a little bit, which is going to get rid of a little bit of that skin smoothing. Just because we've already got a really sort of nice look before we've edited it, but it's going to keep the other edits that I've made there. If I go ahead and show you the other subject as well, this is unedited and this is edited, and then the first subject, this is unedited and edited, and I'll show you this side by side. So again, if we take a look at the skin texture here, you can see we've got some sort of visible pores and some very subtle blemishes on the subject here. And again, you know, the options would be to go in and use the spot removal tool or take it over to Photoshop and do frequency separation, all that kind of stuff, which works really well, but obviously it's very time consuming. It takes a long, long time to do. But I think with this, where we've applied the look muted, we've got the sort of a little bit more darkening in the eyebrows, a little bit more detail around the eyes here. The lips are more muted, but still sort of very natural toning, and then a little bit of the softness in the skin, because I went through the actual mask panels and just dialed that back just a little for a little bit more of a natural look, and that to me looks absolutely stunning. Again, I'll show you this subject side by side as well. Love what it's done to the eyes here, just made them a little bit more defined, brought out the natural color, just darkened down the lips and the eyebrows as well. Such quick fixes, so gorgeous. Now, actually, what I will say on this point, so when we think about, let's say you've done this shoot and you've got a whole bunch of images of these subjects in this, you know, studio setup. Obviously, the normal workflow is a little bit slower to go into Photoshop and do spot removal and frequency separation. But not only that, if you imagine you've got to do that for all the images that you're selecting for that particular shoot, whereas with this, you can get the stylistic look that you want with the presets, and then you can get the actual retouching look that you want for that subject with the looks, dial it all in on the mask panels until you're really happy with it. And then you can go ahead and sync those edits throughout the whole session. Now, it's going to take a bit of time because obviously Lightroom is going to need to scan each image to figure out where the subject is, figure out where the eyes are, all that kind of stuff. But what it's going to do is once it's figured out where those are, it's going to apply those edits to every single image. It's going to retouch them all to the same amount. It's going to lift the eyes and sharpen. It's going to smooth the skin. It's going to do all that kind of good stuff even when the subjects are in different positions, when they're facing, in different direction, all that kind of stuff. It's going to do that super quickly by syncing the edits across all the images. You will need to wait for a little while your computer catches up. If you think about the amount of time it would take just to manually edit one image, that's going to be more time than it will take to edit one image, get the look dialed in, and then sync a whole batch of images. It's going to take so much less time, and then you can go through and just make tweaks to each image as you want to from there. So this is honestly going to be a massive, massive game changer. It's so impressive. We as developers are being waxing lyrical about all of the updates that Lightroom have kind of been pushing out, Adobe's been pushing out recently, but the AI is just absolutely incredible. It's just going to really speed up our workflow, make our lives so much easier as photographers. And of course, at Archipelago, we want to take advantage of that and do as much as we possibly can. And really the culmination of that and what's available right now is this set, Amara. It's absolutely mind-boggling how good of a result you get in so few clicks. I'm sure you've seen just from the images we've edited in this live stream. It's so easy. So yeah, it's going to be a real game changer. And like I said, you can use these looks with any other Archipelago presets as well, all the quest sets, all that kind of stuff. So this set is definitely one that you need to have in your collection. Lots and lots of people chiming in as well, saying how much they love it and how excited they are about the updates and what this set is going to offer. Bye Photoshop. Yeah, in all honesty, the only time really I tend to use Photoshop now is for something really drastic. If I need to remove, something from a shot that's going to be, beyond what Lightroom can do, fair enough. That's when I'm going to use Photoshop. But now I would probably say for me, 99% of my work can be done now in Lightroom, which is amazing. It's so much more, it's so much easier as a workflow, so much more productive. And it's just nice not having duplicated images that are sort of baked in, all that kind of stuff. This is totally non-destructive. At any point, you could come back in here, you can just totally re-edit this image, take it back to the raw file, all that kind of stuff, without having duplicated images and a raw file and an edited version and all that kind of stuff, which I absolutely adore. You could come back to this image and go, you know what? Actually, I think I quite like to use, let's say, Halcyon on this image. And you can just go ahead and apply a Halcyon preset. It's going to keep all of your tweaks that you've made to the retouching. All the mask panels will stay there, and you can simply change the preset, and that's just amazing. It gives us so much more scope for editing. All right, so let's go ahead and do the last image that was chosen, which I think was image number 4. And then once I've edited this one, we're going to announce some winners for the pre-release copies of this set. Apologies I didn't get a chance to edit all these images. They are all stunning, and I really appreciate the photographers who have submitted these images to us, but I don't want this to drag on too long, and of course we want to announce some winners soon. So let's go ahead and edit this one. This one here by Alicia. This is gorgeous. Alicia or Alicia. So we've got this gorgeous photo here in the sunflower field. Subject in the middle here, backlit or side lit. Really gorgeous photo. Now in terms of the exposure and white balance, I think it's pretty much bang on. I'm not going to do too much to it, I don't think. Yeah, let's go ahead and just take a look at the presets. So Amara 1, Amara 2, Amara 3, that's looking lovely actually. Amara 4, also very nice. Amara 5, Amara 6, ooh, actually that could be the one. Black and white's Amara 7, and Amara 8. All right, so I'm going to go 6. Let's have a look at the profile. I'm definitely going to increase the profile. It's going to help just to kind of balance out the image with the backlighting. And for this, I would be tempted just to kind of bump up the contrast. Just because we are backlit, I'm going to bring the contrast up a little tiny bit and then just bring the saturation down a little bit there as well. All right, so let's zoom into the subject. I'm just going to back the temperature off a little bit. And let's see, maybe a tiny bit of magenta. Yep, it's looking good. So let's take a look at the looks. Look minimal, super minimal, as is suggested in the name. But you can see, if you look at the eyes here, you can see that just lifts the eyes up a little bit, adds that nice amount of smoothing to the skin, keeps the lips nice and natural. Then we have natural. So it's a very subtle amount of softening to the skin. Again, just a little bit more definition in the eyes, but very natural look. Vibrant, we have that more editorial look with the darker eyebrows, more definition in the eyes, a little bit more retouching in the skin, and of course the saturation in the lips, and then muted for that similar sort of look, but with the muted lip color as well. Now I would be tempted, again, because we've got quite a nice look to the model as is, again, with the makeup. I would probably go minimal or natural. Let's have a look. I would say minimal for me. Loving vibrant. Yeah, so all right, so I would have gone minimal, but let's go vibrant because I think a lot of people are loving that. So let's go vibrant. I do love what the vibrant preset does to the lips. It's just super, super nice. So let's say we want to go for a little bit more of kind of an intense edit on this. I'm going to bring this up. Let's go up to 146, and then I'm going to dial in here, and let's have a look. Skin diffuse face. Which one is it? It's brush face. That's the one I'm looking for. I'm just going to bring that back a little bit. I don't need as much of the smoothing in the skin, but I want to keep the other elements of this. So the extra saturation in the lips, the extra definition in the eyes, the darkening of the eyebrows. I'm just going to back off brush face, which is the effect that's smoothing the skin. So bring that down to 83. Again, here's before and here's after. And if I go back to the look reset, you can see this is the preset, but without look, and this is with. So quite a drastic change there. We've gone for something where it really, a little bit of a punchier look. It really lifts up the eye color, gives more definition in the eyes, darkens those brows, adds that color in the lips, gives us a nice amount of saturation in the skin there. You can see it's a little bit warmer, nice amount of smoothing as well. Absolutely stunning. Let me show you that side by side because that's just incredible. Again, that's with Amara 6, and we've used the vibrant look and just made a small tweak to that in the mask panel. Let's zoom back out and let's go for subject pop. I'm going to go for the darken, just again to kind of balance the image out because we've got that backlight. It's just going to darken down the background a little bit and give us more emphasis on the subject. I can lift up the subject just a tiny bit more there. That's looking good to me. Depth of field, that might be a good one on this one as well. This is it at 0 and this is it at 200. I would probably be tempted. One thing to keep an eye out on an image like this, we've just got a few stray hairs here. And if you can see when I crank that up to 200, they're just sort of softening up a bit there, but it's not a massive issue. It actually looks really natural still. So I'm just going to go for a little bit of an increase, about 136. We get a little bit of softening there, but it's not a massive problem. It's doing a fairly good job of kind of cutting out the subject there, giving a little bit more softness and depth of field in the background. And then if we wanted to use Sol, we've got the option, but I think the amount of warmth we have is really, really nice. So let me show you the before and after, and then let me show you the side by side once more. Again, gorgeous photo here. Thank you so much for your submission, Alicia. I feel like I'm wearing 3D glasses, so good. Love that. This should be the cover photo for the set. Thank you very much. The AI tools are incredible, says Rachel. Yes, thank you very much. Also love how it looks, love how it keeps the yellow golden. Yep, love that. Again, with those gorgeous greens. Well done, Chris, and all of Archipelago. Thank you so much, Aubrey. Yes, Chris has done an incredible, incredible job with the set. So we're going to be announcing a winner for the pre-release copies of Amara very, very soon. But while I've got your attention, just a little bit of information. Like I said, this set's going to be coming soon. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter so you can hear about the launch of this set. But we've actually got an amazing set coming as part of our Quest subscription series as well. That's going to be coming out on the 1st of March. And that set is also an AI-driven set specifically designed for portraiture. And it's actually designed to work in conjunction with Amara. You can use it on its own. It works with other presets as well, but it was co-developed as part of what you see in here with Amara, and it works and complements that set incredibly, incredibly well. So those tools will be available to our Quest subscribers for free to anyone that subscribe to Quest when that launches on the 1st of March. See Kimber saying March 1st is my birthday, yay. Yes, get excited for that. I've actually got a live stream scheduled in for Thursday next week, so the 23rd, just showcase that set. But if I show you very quickly, just a little bit of a sneak peek, I'm not actually going to show you the presets themselves, but if I dive back into this first image, if you take a look at the top here, above the Archipelago AI toolset, we have the Archipelago AI Portrait toolset. If I just open this up, you can see there's a load of tools in there that use the AI functionality to adjust things like the skin, the eyes, the lips, the brows, the hair, the teeth. So you can actually do some incredibly granular edits using these presets. There's more functionality than what you get in the default looks. So this is designed to partner with that or to be used to stand alone. So this is a great set to get hold of. If you're a Quest subscriber, you're going to get this for free as part of your subscription. Again, if you subscribe right now, the price for that is $8 per month. You'll be able to download this month's current set and then go ahead and get this tool set when it comes out on the 1st of March. But yeah, I'm not going to show you that yet. You need to come and join the live stream next week, which is Thursday the 23rd. Again, subscribe to the YouTube so you can be notified when we go live. Make sure you press the bell if you want to get those notifications. And yeah, I'll be doing a stream to showcase what that set offers and how amazingly well it works with Amara. You're really going to want to get your hands on both of these two sets. Again, using them standalone or using them together, it's incredible. So yep, that'll be on the 1st of March as part of our Quest subscription series. So we'll be announcing the winners in a few short moments. As Lauren put in the chat there as well, just a reminder, anyone that is a Quest subscriber, you get 30% off our regular Archipelago presets. So when Amara does launch, if you are a Quest subscriber, you can use that 30% discount to get a discount on these as soon as they launch. So it's worth subscribing. It's $8 a month. It's incredible. And there we go. We've got the winners of the pre-release copies of Amara. Yeva, you are a winner, along with Elizabeth, Pellet, Naomi, and Amanda. You're all getting a pre-release copy of Amara. All you need to do is email us at the email that you see in the chat there, support@archipelagopresets.com, to claim your prize, and we'll get those sent over to you. You can start editing with them straight away. We'd love it as well if you are one of those people that have just won the pre-release copy, if you could jump into the Archipelago Collective Facebook group and start sharing some of those edits, get everyone else excited for the set to launch, and of course show off the fact that you are a winner and you've got the set early before everyone else gets their hands on it. And like I said, it's coming very, very soon. If you are subscribed to the newsletter, we'll be letting you know through that when this preset collection launches. But yep, subscribe to the YouTube, give this video a like. Thank you so much for joining. I always love it when we have these live streams. I get to showcase these amazing new presets that are coming to you soon. Come back again next week for the sneak peek at the next Quest release, which is the Archipelago AI Portrait Toolset, which goes hand in hand with the set that we've just shown here, which is Amara. And yep, that'll be available on archipelagopresets.com very, very soon. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again in the next one.